Hey guys, OgreBarberian here, and I wanted to give a brief rundown of Angrath. We were unable to get a full podcast in this week, but I still wanted to be able to give you a quick rundown of Angrath since he's the new character. Short answer is probably not worth the gems. Uh, but let's dissect that a little bit for the long answer because I know you're going to want to hear all of it. Um, I've been running him a lot today, just trying to make him work with a variety of different compositions, and as you can see, I've had some success with some teams and some not success with the same teams. And that's just kind of his MO right now that I've been able to determine. Uh, I don't think that the meta itself is really in a good position for what he brings to the table, which is sad because he's a red black planeswalker, which is, in my opinion, the two strongest colors in the game, just as far as spells, buildings, and rusher. Like, you have Goblin Artillery, you have Geralf's Messenger, you have Hellrider. You know, those are all really, really strong rush units. Um, I think they are kind of outclassed at the moment by things like Reaver Demon, but only with Aether Squall Ancient. I tried Reaver Demon with Shivan Dragon. It wasn't all that impressive. I've tried, basically everything I can think of to make this deck work. I've found Vent Sentinel to be slightly better than the Catapult, but mostly because Vent Sentinel deals with Spectral Procession really well. Catapult deals with large pushes really well, whereas the Sentinel deals with things like Spectral Procession really well. Uh, the biggest downfall of this deck and why I don't think it's in a real good position is because it doesn't have real good answers to Aether Squall Ancient Reaver Demon right now. And part of that is just because Angrath himself. He's not, all that good against it because he's just straight melee. So he doesn't have the damage that he needs. He's also tanky, which is fine. I like that part of him. Sometimes there was matches where I would throw him in the opposite lane and have him rush up a tower on his own, maybe drop some Hedron scouts with him or the crows, and just have him go to town with a little tiny unit supporting him and him be the tank for it. And I think that's honestly the best use I've found for him. Defensively, I don't really like him. Yeah, his stun can be nice, but there's so much flying right now that I don't think he's in a good position to make real good use of it. So, and the problem is he doesn't have a gap closer for his skill. His skill is, a small area of effect that stuns on the ground. Uh, so that right there is what holds him back from being like a Titan dropper. So he can't drop, Grave Titan or Fire Giant to on the tower to get their massive damages, boosting in there, effectively because you do it the first time and then your opponent's going to be on top of him every time he pops in. So I hate to say it, but I think the short answer is save your gems uh, for him. Like he seems really cool, and I really really want him to work. I just don't think the meta is conducive to him at the moment. So this is basically our review for Angrath. Um, he has his upsides, and when he looks good, he looks good, and when he feels bad, he feels bad. So he definitely has that, really low floor and that really high ceiling, which is, to say that he's a very skill intensive planeswalker. And if you get the hang of him and you can use him effectively, then you're probably going to really enjoy him because he'll give you those satisfying victories uh, against the planeswalkers that have significantly less, thought and skill involved. So I think that's his one major upside is if you're the kind of player that really likes those skill intensive characters, he's definitely that right now. And again, I think part of it is just because he's not real suited to facing what the meta currently is. Uh, Even though, again, he has access to two of the best buildings, two of the best spells, some of the best ranged damage units in Ashcloud Phoenix and Accursed Spirit. Some of the best tanks are in, you got some of the best rushers. Like everything should have come together really well, and I think part of the reason that it doesn't is because you end up with too many good cards. Might be part of it, and you're constantly being torn in different directions on, oh well, how do I do this, and what if I do this, and what if I try this, and what about this. And that was kind of part of the reason that I just, or not part of the reason, but I think I never did settle on a singular, this is the deck that Angrath wants. I never did settle on that. So I think a lot of it just comes down to that. And in all honesty, again, I really like what he does on paper. And his Mana Strike boost is a significant boost. But I don't think it's enough. Because by the time you make it to Mana Strike, you may have already lost. Like, a game is usually decided on the first push. And I have had significant trouble defending that first push with Angrath. I don't think, like, the meta is not in a conducive position for him, at least in my mind. Maybe y'all's mileage is varied, but I'm probably rambling at this point, and I need to get going. So leave your thoughts in the comments. And whenever he becomes available for gold, maybe if the meta change again, and we'll review him again at some other point. But for now, save your gems. As always, enjoy and grind on.